From selling tamales and carnitas on the streets of East LA to cooking with some of the finest chefs around the world.
And I've learned so much, so many different techniques.
Now, this talented chef is creating culinary masterpieces in one of Austin's most innovative kitchens. And a pair of millennials trade in big city life for a small town country bistro that's big on flavor.
Just no other options with, a literature degree.
Then we'll take you to a movie theater where Tex-Mex is on the marquee.
That gravy's fantastic.
And we'll get the backstory on where all that delicious, chili, cheesy goodness began. Good Taste starts right now. Hi everyone, welcome to Good Taste. I'm Tanji Patton. Welcome to South Austin, an eclectic spot where old meets new. Austinites will tell you it's 7870 forever. We've tapped into a trendy spot that fits right in. It boasts a chef who went from selling tacos in East LA to working with some of the best chefs in the world. It's all about big flavors on small plates at Vox Table. Giving you the chance to try a little bit of this and a little bit of that in a cool yet casual setting. Duck confit drenched in foie gras butter and sprigs of freshly picked watercress. The tiny garden is in the kitchen. Calamari noodles with roasted corn and Spanish chorizo. And have you ever seen bacon and eggs like this? It's grilled pork belly with a fried duck egg over broccolini. A fusion of French, Spanish, Basque, and American flavors from the wildly creative imagination of Chef Joe Anguiano. And it's more shareable plates, right?
Yeah, this is more shareable plates. I like the whole concept of having shareable plates. It's for me, I get really bored easily, so I like, when I'm eating, I like to be tasting different things. I like to have those little dishes. I like to be picky.
So here you can have it all. It's really good. Joe's passion for cooking and food goes all the way back to his childhood and his grandmother's tortilleria in East Los Angeles.
On the weekends, we would open to the public and we would sell tamales and carnitas and menudo. I was always around, and my aunts and my mom and my grandmother would be around, and we'll be making all types of food for the weekend. And so I was always there. So that was part of my inspiration, that's what got me going. That's what got me excited about getting into the culinary field.
That led to culinary school and a long list at some of the finest kitchens in the world, including the Michelin-star Zuberoa in Spain, Montrachet, and the famed Le Cirque in New York with renowned chef Remy Lavant before landing here in Austin. You've learned and picked up different cuisines from all over the world, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky. I've worked under some really, really great chefs.
That depth of experience has led to clever creations like this. Striped sea bass swimming on sweet potato puree, crowned with a squid ink cracklin. I've never had this and I'm dying to try it.
So it's like a little aerated, little fishiness, but it's not overpowering.
People it's pleasant fishiness.
Pleasant, yeah. It's really nice. It's like something you could do. If you could leave that in front of me, I'd be snacking on that all day. Put a little chili, little chili sauce, and then a little squeeze of lime juice, and boom.
Salty.
It's salty. Perfect. Love it. And it gives a texture to the dish.
The textures are terrific, and so are the layers of flavor in every dish, especially in this smoked hamachi pipette. It's seafood that just sucked through a straw.
So on the bottom of the pipette, we have coconut soy dressing, and then right above it, you have pickled cucumber, In between the pickled cucumber and the tomato raisin, we have a thin slice of Thai chili, smoked tamachi.
And get this, for texture, Joe adds bits of soy crackers and good old corn nuts with bursts of flavor from micro-herbs, tiny Japanese mint and cilantro.
It really makes the hamachi pop out when you have it all together.
Okay, so you're going to demonstrate. Show me how we do these.
All right, so this is how the customer receives the dish. And basically what our waiters tell them or instruct them, pretty much just pick up the pipette.
Okay.
And then just put everything in your mouth, except for the bottom part of the tube.
Okay.
And
suck out the juice as well?
And just squeeze the tube.
That's really good. Vox Table isn't just about the delicious plates for your table. Cocktails here share the spotlight. One in particular is getting more airtime than the others. So you have a drink that's become well known in these parts.
Yeah. It's the Tom Selleck's mustache.
The Tom Selleck's mustache.
Yeah.
Turns out the idea was hatched with friends during a night out. And at the time, it sounded like a really good idea to find out.
It sounded hilarious, yeah. And the next day, I was like, well, that was too funny, and started testing out drinks and thought, coffee, smoke, whiskey.
Yeah.
Tom Selleck's mustache.
Yeah, okay, well, let's see what you do. And we've got some taste testers here. Jordan and Taylor from KI's Austin.
We know a lot about Austin, Tanji, but we also know a lot in your tube about alcohol.
So we made a good choice.
Taylor specifically.
Yeah, and I don't discriminate against, time of day or type of drink, as we've learned.
And anytime we have a chance to drink a drink that's called the Tom Selleck, we're there.
I think it was actually called the Tom Selleck mustache.
We're gonna drop in a few of Jim Beam bourbon barrel chips. And what this does...
Bourbon barrel chips?
Yeah. So usually people use this for like the barbecue, you just smoke brisket and Jim Beam barrel. We're gonna use it to smoke our glass.
What comes next is pretty dramatic.
Take a nice little torch here, and we're gonna kind of light it up. And once you kind of get a nice char on it is when you're gonna put the glass right over it to extinguish the flame.
Okay, so I would imagine people are freaking out at the bar when they see the torch come out, right?
You do this for every drink.
Every single time. For every drink this Tom Selleck, yes. And we do it table side at the bar.
It's a show.
It's a show.
What an experience. You were an artist.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
There was
guy's good.
scared and excited. Cheers.
To Tom Selleck's mustache.
Wow, that's really impressive.
Smoky.
Yeah,
Smoky for sure.
First taste, smoky.
So you think Tom Selleck's mustache?
I mean, can you see my mustache growing, Tanji?
Actually, to be honest, this is surprisingly smooth. When you think of whiskey, you think of like, oh, it was potent. This is delicious.
And it's 100 proof, so it'll...
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bottoms up.
So I'm
It'll knock
done.
you out.
So drink slowly, or strange things might happen.
I'm really feeling it.
Obviously, that drink is pretty spectacular. Coming up next, from a movie star to a movie theater, where enchiladas take center stage.
And that's the way a good cheese enchilada should taste. That's awesome.
A spot in Houston pays homage to Tex-Mex. But first, it's a dream come true for a pair of millennials who own this charming European-style bistro.
We just are very passionate about food.
We'll share their recipe for success right up the road in the Texas Hill Country as Good Taste continues. Good things come from Cisco. Hidden a block off of Fredericksburg's bustling Main Street is one of the Hill Country's most popular restaurants. A simple spot with a simple name, Otto's. This cute little gem pays homage to the area's German roots. With a modern mix of fun and farm-fresh flavors. Its owners are married millennials, college grads who gave up big city careers for a simpler small-town life. Call it a family affair. You guys actually met in Fredericksburg, and Evelyn, this is where you're from.
Yes, I grew up here. It's kind of fun to see everything evolve and transform throughout the years.
And then John came, you guys met up, and now, voila.
Here we are.
2 babies, 3 restaurants, or no,
3
3
babies.
mommy brain.
It'll do that. With a sense of humor intact, these folks are serious about their food. John and executive chef Adam Yoho are close friends who collaborate on every single dish.
Every day's a roller coaster.
He knows more about me than most people should ever know about anyone. I know more about him, and
We spend more time with each other than with our family.
in our family. So
So you better get along, right?
Exactly.
yeah, exactly.
That friendship inspired their famous Flammkuchen,
And it's definitely meant to be shared.
a savory Alsace flatbread.
Our go-to always is the Flammkuchen.
With house-made creme fraiche, caramelized onions, rich Cambozola cheese, and crispy bacon bits, it's delicious.
I'm sure it was a Frenchman decided that let's put some cheese, some bacon, throw it in there, and we'll have a little snack.
Let's
so
make it really good.
the Flammkuchen was born. Otto's Flammkuchen.
It's so good.
So we've done dessert Flammkuchens. We've done all sorts of fun stuff.
I can't talk, I just want to eat.
Please dig in.
After the Flammkuchen comes the 14-ounce South Texas raised Wagyu ribeye, sizzling and drenched in butter. Fresh fish is flown in and always on the menu.
These microgreens are grown here in Fredericksburg in a aquaponics farm.
Lots of farm fresh choices at Otto's, but it's the German-inspired creations that are most popular with regulars, like duck schnitzel, plated on a pillow of creamy spätzle and sweet tart red cabbage. Love the contrast in color.
Yeah, really good contrast in color.
Topped with brandy-soaked cherries and little duck cracklings. Tonight's special, locally sourced lamb from a farm just up the road.
It's gonna help caramelize the outside of the meat, get a nice little glaze on it with the butter.
Cooked to perfection, it's straddled with house-made butternut squash, beets, and sautéed kale. Also popular is the worst plate.
We always have a Wurst on the menu. We grind, season, and stuff our own sausages here in-house. Our sauerkraut, our pickles, our mustard, everything we make here in-house.
With the focus on a few great dishes, Otto's easily attracts tourists. But on any given night, most of the guests are locals.
They're open till late, till 10. And a lot of times we don't get out to eat till around 9 or 9:30, and this is the perfect place to go, and it's wonderful.
You guys are open all the time, right?
Yeah, 7 days a week. So really, I want to provide some sort of consistency. So, especially staying open late, we stay open until 11 every night.
So much for the slower pace that comes with a small town. Coming up with incredible food seems to keep these guys on their toes.
I would say we still challenge each other, which is a nice part of our friendship and relationship, because we don't want to, rest on our laurels or be complacent with what we're doing. And you can't do it by yourself.
It's working. And with family and friends working together in a job they love, you know the food is going to be fabulous. The food is fantastic at Otto's, and that's why you'll find so many locals there. Up next, here's a question. What is real, authentic Tex-Mex? Is it all about the chili gravy, the cheesy enchiladas, or sizzling fajitas? Find out where real Tex-Mex actually got its start. Some awesome Mexican food heading your way. And my favorite wine picks of the week when we come back. Good Taste with Tanji is brought to you in part by H-E-B. In the Montrose area of Houston, good Mexican food isn't hard to find. But one restaurant boasts the most authentic Tex-Mex in the state, from someone who literally wrote the book on it. So this incredible building represents some 150 years, maybe more, of Tex-Mex history. And I'm with a guy that I would say you were probably the foremost expert on Tex-Mex, its origins, what makes it so incredible. Rob Walsh.
I'll probably write more about it. I'm sure there are some Tejanos in the valley who know more about Tex-Mex than I do.
True.
But I'm happy to document Tex-Mex, and that's sort of what I do.
But there's so much history in these four walls that really tell the story. From a rare photo of Pancho Villa to a nostalgic walk through the who's who of Tex-Mex restaurant history. There's even a little Houston pop culture here from Leo's Mexican restaurant on Washington Street.
The inside of the Tres Hombres album for ZZ Top, this was actually photographed in that restaurant. So and then you've got Billy Gibbons, who was nice enough to sign a guitar and donate it to us.
If the marquee out front didn't already tip you off, El Real used to be an old movie theater. So Justin, this is your baby too. I mean, you started from the very beginning and you've watched this building transform. A lot of history here.
It's an older building, at least for Texas. It opened in 1938 as a movie theater and has had a couple of lives since then.
Well, the mezzanine has a pretty cool view because obviously you see the entire place and the giant screen.
Yeah, it's great to people watch and you get to see the screen as well.
And while the ambiance is great, let's be honest, the biggest reason to visit El Real is the food. Rob credits the true Tex-Mex flavors to the famous chili queens of San Antonio.
When the railroads connected San Antonio with Chicago and St. Louis and the rest of the country, tourists who came down to San Antonio wanted to go to the chili queen stands.
They're the first to serve enchiladas with chili con carne on top. And here's a fun fact.
There is no chili con carne in Mexico. Particularly because Texas chili is made with chili powder. They don't have chili powder in Mexico. It was actually a knockoff by William Gebhardt, a German immigrant, of European paprika powder.
Really?
Yeah. Some of those toasted chilies.
To get that authentic Tex-Mex flavor, these chili kings grind their own chili powder.
We use mostly anchos, a little bit of pasilla, and it's really pretty simple.
Toasty, yeah.
Toasty.
A grocery store coffee grinder does the work. So this is the spice you use in your chili. The mother load for the mother sauce of Tex-Mex. All made in-house.
All right, and then we're gonna do a little bit of the refried beans.
Rob's favorite refried beans.
Yeah, Tex-Mex mashed potatoes, right?
Tastes like Tex-Mex.
And that's the way a good cheese enchilada should taste. That's awesome. That gravy's fantastic.
I love it.
That chili powder comes through. You can't go wrong with your choices here. From the cheese enchiladas to the sizzling fajitas.
San Antonio's got chili and puffy tacos and so forth. Austin has breakfast tacos. They're really identified with Austin. Fajitas are really identified with Houston.
El Real does them up right with outside skirt steak.
This is the original fajita.
Grilled fast over a super hot mesquite-fired grill.
You need to go this way, and all of a sudden, the same piece of meat becomes incredibly tender.
What are y'all seasoning this with? This is good.
Seasoning is a deep, dark secret. Soy sauce and pineapple are included.
Really? This is good.
Turns out that's been the basic marinade for Tex-Mex fajitas for years. And when it comes to tacos, El Real looked to the best in the business.
We went and visited Henry's Puffy Tacos in San Antonio because we wanted to model our Puffy Tacos after his because they're so great.
Check out another of my favorites at El Real.
That's directly from my childhood. We didn't have it on the menu when we first opened, but when I was a little kid, I used to enjoy that, going to some of the Mexican restaurants that I went to. And so we had to put it on the menu.
Good old-fashioned Tex-Mex goodness for both young and grown-ups too. An ice-cold margarita. The perfect ending for this walk down Tex-Mex memory lane. Time for my wine finds of the week, and I'm going to take you to Italy, one of my favorite places and a place I think makes some of the sexiest, most romantic wines on the planet. Is there a more romantic place than Italy? I don't think so. These are some fun wines as well. Up first, a Rosso di Montalcino. Brunello fans, think of this as the Brunello's baby brother. It's made with the same grape varietals, but the grapes just aren't aged as long. But a lot of the same flavor profiles come through. You get the dark cherries, hints of spice, a little bit of vanilla. This is a beautiful wine, and it pairs wonderfully with all kinds of roasted meat, even some fish dishes as well. Rosso di Montalcino Col d'Orcia is the brand. All right, up next, Chianti fans. We're still in Tuscany. Just a classic Chianti. This is a wonderful producer. This is the Monsanto Chianti Classico Riserva. And they're a very consistent producer. So vintage to vintage, you know you're going to get a very well-made wine. Chiantis, as you know, pair beautifully with pizza, bright tomato dishes. Think of spaghetti with acidity. Dishes with a lot of acidity go well with a Chianti, and I like this one. It's priced right. Monsanto. Moving on, we're going with a grape you probably haven't seen produced in a while in a big way, and that's Lambrusco. This is Dolce Rosso, not to be confused with the Rosso di Montalcino. The Rossos are totally different. Rosso di Montalcino is in a class all by itself. This was a much lighter wine. This is a wine that you'll serve chilled. It has a little bit of effervescence to it, a lot of bright, sweeter cherries, if you will. So think of it as your sweeter wine alternative, fruitier wine. When it comes to Italian wines, it's a nice little hot weather drinking wine for about 10 bucks a bottle. You can't beat it. And I found these wines at H-E-B. How would you like to win a relaxing weekend for two at the beautiful Houstonian Hotel and Spa? I've got details on how you can do just that when we come back. Who wouldn't love a getaway? An easy, relaxing vacay in your own backyard. Head to Goodtaste TV right now and sign up for a chance to win a luxurious weekend at the Houstonian, complete with spa treatments for you and a guest at the beautiful, award-winning Trellis Spa. Next week, it's all about you, oyster fans, at this cool coastal kitchen in Clear Lake. And as always, if you missed anything on the show, you can find it online at goodtaste.tv. And don't forget to set your DVRs. You can do it right now for next week's show. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week, and we'll save you an oyster or two. Cheers to good taste.